From BLC Studios in Mankato, Minnesota, this is the Maverick Hockey Live Podcast, presented by Dunkin, with your host, Shane Frederick.
This is the Maverick Hockey Live Podcast, brought to you by Dunkin. My name is Shane Frederick. I'm the host, and joining me today is MSU senior defenseman Andy Carroll. How you doing, Andy?
Good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Good to see you. Andy, you're coming off one of your best games of the season, according to Coach Mike Hastings. I don't know if you agree, but certainly Friday night with 3 assists in the 9-2 win over Bowling Green was a pretty good game stat-wise for you. I think you had 5 shots on goal as well. 3 assists. Did you feel like it was one of your better games?
Yeah, you know what? It was fun to be rewarded. Coach and I have discussed multiple times as a two-way defenseman. I try to pride myself in being on getting pucks through and creating those opportunities for our forwards. And yeah, to be rewarded, a couple great tips and Borch with a rebound to put it away. And yeah, you know what? I felt like I was dynamic both ways, offensively and defensively, and going to just try and continue to build on that.
What does it mean for really for any player, but a defenseman who gets points? You're going to get more assists than goals generally. A lot of guys get a lot of credit for hat tricks, as Cade Borchert did that night, and Brendan Furry did a couple weeks earlier in Mankato. But a 3 assist night has to feel pretty good for a guy like yourself.
Yeah, you know what? It is always fun. I think there was stretches of my career where I was a pass-first guy. I still always look for the pass, but becoming more of that shooter mindset. And all 3 of those assists came off shots, 2 tips, and a rebound. So kind of seeing that those points come through that is just, I guess, reassurance that good things happen when pucks find ways to the net.
Talking to Coach Hastings is, as long as I have, certainly as long as you have in your 3+ seasons here, one thing he stresses a lot is, generating offense from the defense, whether that's moving the puck out of your own end, getting through the neutral zone, or just, and it's kind of preaching it to the forwards too, getting the puck back up top, resetting or creating some offense from that position. And you talk about being a two-way defenseman. What do you feel like your role is in that as far as the offense goes and kind of creating offense from that spot?
Yeah, I think every one of our defensemen on our team is able to play that two-way game, and that's what makes this team special. Being able to, like you said, from the D zone out, puck gets into our D zone, finding ways to transition it quickly, so we can go play offense. Mm-hmm. Neutral zone, same thing. Catching the opposing team, standing still, being able to create that offense, and then up top, as a defenseman, when the puck goes low to high, that means I got to find my guy and defend. Mm-hmm. And so it's a hard style to play against when all 5 guys are being utilized offensively, moving, motion, creates confusion. As a defender, it's a challenging thing to defend at times. So I think that's a big reason, why he emphasizes that and makes teams have to defend all night, and it's not fun.
And you mentioned just shooting the puck more and getting tips, and it seems like that's so important. You probably go back a couple weeks ago against Ferris State and the loss on Friday night there, where you're not able to create kind of the traffic in front as a team that you guys would have liked, and getting shots blocked. I don't know, Ferris blocked a lot of shots that night, I assume, and that's probably for you got to be frustrating because you want to get those shots through, or at the very least, if they're going to get blocked, they're going to get blocked down low as opposed to someone who's on you. But certainly you're looking for tips, you're looking for rebounds, that sort of thing. Is there a secret to trying to get pucks through and avoid getting them blocked? Because you guys as a team, it's the opposite when you're defending, because there's an expectation that you block shots or get sticks or skates or something in front of those pucks.
100%. I think college hockey, especially in the CCHA, every team, top to bottom, is committed to blocking shots. And to be able to get those pucks through, it's a skill. It really is, and we work hard on it. Whether it's Coach Coach Kirtland or Coach Nod are working on that with us, like being able to create that deception up top, using head, pump fakes, any type of deception in movement. Makes it much more difficult on the defenders to be able to get in those shooting lanes. And it's a very, I'm not going to say underrated, because it's very important. But you go watch the best defensemen in the NHL and their ability to get pucks through and generate offense from the blue line, and it's really cool to watch.
Yeah, it really is. And sometimes you just wonder how, sometimes it seems almost completely random, completely sheer luck, whether it gets blocked, doesn't get blocked. But you're right. It does seem to take, a sense of skill, or working on, trying to, I suppose it's no different if you're playing a game where you're just trying to hit pipes.
Yeah.
So you're trying to hit spots, right? You're trying to hit small areas that get through, that avoid the big bodies and traffic that's in front.
100%.
So you guys are coming off a sweep of Bowling Green, really impressive game on Friday night, 9-2 victory. Great start on Saturday, and kind of probably hung on a little bit there, but to win that game 5-3. But a good weekend overall to get 2 wins against a rival team like that, and especially coming off a split on the road the previous week.
Always. It's never going to be a super pretty one against Bowling Green.
Right.
We were, I thought Friday night we were good from basically start to finish. They had a couple, I think one on the power play, one right after a power play.
Yep.
But yeah, to go in and take care of Bowling Green 9-2 Friday was a good feeling, but knew that they were going to come out and be ready to go Saturday.
Yeah.
And you know what? I thought we got off to a great start. I thought the power play was really good for us all weekend. And you know what? Credit to Bowling Green, they capitalized a couple times when we took penalties, and but the important thing was that we found a way. Especially as we progressed into the rest of the season. It's not always the pretty 9-2 wins. It's just it's unrealistic in college hockey to expect that every night. So to be able to find ways, even that one from Master, partially way through the third, to give us that additional 2-goal lead. Little things like that, just to give breathing room. It ended up not being, we didn't need it, but I think that breathing room was huge. And you know what, Coach mentioned it after the game. It's two wins against Bowling Green is 2 wins. They, they're not going to go back and ask how it got done. It just got done.
Oh, it's amazing in this sport how, if you look at Friday, I think a 3-0 lead after one period, just like Saturday, they score Friday. You guys quickly get it right back. I think less than a minute later. And, then it's, you guys roll from there. You're unable to do that Saturday in the second period and, kind of respond to them. They get another one, and now it's a little bit, ends up being a little dicier, right? So it's amazing how much momentum can turn in just that little instance.
Yeah, no, 100%. This game's, so much of it's on momentum. I did think when they got that one in the second, we came back, and I think it was Andre's line between Groller and Connor Grega came out and put together just a dominant, fourth line shift, just absolutely working their defensemen, little movement, couple shots on net. But yeah, when you go down a man, especially with a long change, it can kind of catch you. And but you know what? It's you have to give credit to when it's due. And I thought they made a couple nice plays on the power play. And but again, there was enough within our team and on the bench to stay positive and say, hey, you know what, like we're still in control of this game.
Right.
Like we control where this game's going to go, what the pace it's going to be played at, everything like that. And I thought the entire bench and the coaching staff did a good job of making sure like we were well aware of that. No need to start running around with our heads cut off. Like just take a deep breath and go back to what made us good. The 60 minutes the night before and you know the 20 minutes in the first period and partially way through that second. So yeah, I mean 2 wins against Bowling Green going into kind of the second half before Christmas break. So we're excited.
This week you got St. Thomas coming up, the first time you're playing them. There is some history between the two programs going way back to the D2, D3 era. I think I saw in the notes today it was actually MSU's first year of D1s playing an independent schedule, ended up playing St. Thomas, but St. Thomas now a Division I program, CCHA member. They're kind of off to the start people probably expected with just one win so far because, just being a new D1, especially jumping up from D3, it's a big leap in a tough conference. But, how's the prep going for them? You play them on Thursday, so a short week, and then you'll go back, you'll go up to the Twin Cities on Saturday to finish off that series. What's that been like?
You know what? Yeah, short week. It's been interesting. Today's Tuesday, so we got one more day of prep, and it's game day. So we know every game, especially league games, we're dialing it up.
Yeah.
We'll be ready for them, and you know what they've played close games. It's not like they're getting blown out every game.
Right.
So yeah, definitely a team that we're gonna go in with full respect to, and look to keep playing the same kind of hockey we have been.
Well, I'm a St. Thomas grad going back to 1994, and so I'm excited to see them playing. But I covered you guys for 20 years, so I know your program so well. So it's I think I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it a little bit and kind of see what happens to the Tommies going forward here. I think it's an exciting time. I think for anyone who went to school there from a D3 program, seeing all their sports go up to Division I. But and I think they're a good addition to the CCHA. I think over time. That's really going to solidify that conference, this new conference, having that third Minnesota team along with you guys in Bemidji State. And I think it's geographically a really good fit, and I'm just excited to see what happens with that going forward. I don't know how you feel about that, but just I'm sure as a Minnesota kid following all this, all the teams in Minnesota, more teams don't hurt, right?
No, not at all. It is kind of interesting. Looking through their roster, how many of those kids I've played against or played with.
Yeah.
And it'll be kind of cool. Played with a bunch of them, either with and or against in high school, juniors, whether it be the I don't even know what those summer leagues are called.
Sure.
Like the Elite Development League, Elite League, those kind of things. So yeah, it'll be fun to kind of play against those guys again and see them on the ice, even though we'll be opposing them. And but no, it's always fun to have another Minnesota team in, and I think I agree with that. It'll be a great addition to the CCHA.
Let's switch gears a little bit and kind of talk about your history. I think most people know this, but maybe not everybody, that your family's got some history with Minnesota State. Your dad was the first women's hockey coach at MSU, going back to 1998, I believe, from 98 to 01. I covered a couple of those seasons when I first moved to town. What year were you born? I got a
97.
You're 97, so I'm sure you were here. I don't know how much you remember of that, but do you have any memories at all of being at the what was then Midwest Wireless Civic Center, I believe it was called then?
It was the Midwest. Yep, it was. And after the games Friday and Saturday, obviously Dad would already be down here. Mom and I would drive down from Northfield. I'd have my skates after the game. Every year it progressed. The first year it was get to the dot from the boards to the dot, back to the boards before the Zamboni made it around. So no, I enjoyed it. I think one of maybe the best memories, and it'd be interesting to see if she remembers this, but Sherry Vogt, one of the great goalies of the women's program, had a keen taste for red licorice. And I'll never forget to that day. I'd always steal a couple from her. But no, you know what? It is cool to kind of go full circle. I've got some young pics of myself in a Mav jersey. So when everything kind of came full circle, and to be able to put on the purple and gold at the level that I'm at right now, it is pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty easy decision to make.
Yeah, it's always good to see your folks when they're at the rink and catch up with your dad, Todd, as he watches you play, and he probably looks around at the arena and sees all the great amenities and wishes they were there 20 some years ago. But a lot of people do. I mean,
Yeah.
there were, but that's I think that. He got things started here, and you mentioned Sherry Vogt. Sherry is the assistant for the women's hockey team at MSU. You should probably go up to the offices there and see if she's got any licorice for you.
Probably not a bad idea.
And Sherry's great. She was an All-American goaltender, and her banner hangs up in the arena. And great recruiting effort on your dad's part for sure, getting Sherry here, because she's truly one of the greats, as a goaltender, and it was really hard to ignore her numbers and the stuff she did, and because those were tough times where if you weren't Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Minnesota Duluth at the time, it was a tough go, especially if you didn't have a goaltender. And Sherry kind of made sure that she evened the playing field a little bit. So, and a lot of good players from that era who are still really strong in the program, and which is cool to see. So, that connection's got to be kind of fun. You're also related to that, being at Northfield and Southern Minnesota and Big Nine, and probably a little bit of pride there, because you just don't see a ton of players come out from this section of the state, and those who do, they make their mark. You had Reese Smolik as a teammate. You have Bennett Smolik now as a teammate. Got a little bit of Big Nine pride there, I suppose.
100%. I think it's something that Reese and I would talk about, and it's kind of funny. I sat next to Reese my freshman to my junior every year, and then this year I actually sit next to Benny. So it's kind of cool. We make our little Big Nine joke references, and the powerhouse of the state in Southern Minnesota. And I give him a hard time about how Northfield's got the best rink in the state. But no, we have a good time with it, and I think there is something to be proud of. Being proud of where you came from. Obviously played all 4 years at Northfield. Had an absolute, blast in high school, multi-sport athlete. But yeah.
What else did you play?
So I played varsity tennis as a 7th grader. My mom and dad were both collegiate tennis players at St. Olaf. So grew up playing tennis with them, and kind of got into that and was asked to play then. And then I also played baseball, football, golf, and hockey.
Wow.
So,
nice.
I think I think being an athlete, it can translate to so many different areas. And, for me, I take some time off during the summer, and just kind of let the body step away from the rink a little bit.
Sure.
And I'm not saying that should go for everyone, but I think it's important, to be an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Develop other skills other than, let's just say just hockey. When you get to a certain level, like 100%, you need to refine down and, master if you do want to pursue something at an extremely high level. But I still enjoy playing other sports during the summer, and spending time with different people playing different things. So, yeah.
Do you have any memories of some of those other sports, whether it's hockey or the other sports, playing in Mankato, playing against some of the Mankato teams?
100%. I've played many games at ASA against.
Probably from the youth level up.
Yeah,
too,
youth
right?
level up, 100%. Definitely. remember the days playing against, Mankato guys like Kyle Luft, even as, guys, I'm trying to think who's older. The Max Metlers,
Sure.
Nick Campbell's, Francis, I can't think of his first name right now.
Yep.
But yeah, all those guys, Tyler Lowe. So a lot of obviously very good West teams that went through, and unfortunately got us, I think, once in the section final. I think we got them once in the semifinals. So it was always fun kind of seeing those guys coming down the stretch. And we played a lot of fall hockey together through Southern Minnesota teams, and so to see them coming down the stretch over at the rec over in Rochester was always fun. So
yeah, those games at the rec are always great.
Yeah.
Just covering those is always fun. When a Mankato team would get there, and East and West actually played each other. One year, a couple years ago, and kind of a special place that everybody. I don't know if everybody in the entire state realizes what's the big deal about getting to the rec center, but certainly down here that's the case, right?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. No big goals or big plays that you remember from high school at All Seasons Arena?
I can't think of much, no, to be honest. High school, I when we were playing at the golf club for high school golf, I did hit the flag stick in the air, and it landed about an inch and a half from the cup. So that's probably been the closest I've ever been to a competition hole-in-one. So yeah, it was that's probably maybe lasting non-hockey memory of my Mankato athletic career.
That's pretty good. And I'd be remiss not to bring up Hockey Day Minnesota as we talk about the excitement about Southern Minnesota hockey in this conversation. But that's certainly a chance to kind of showcase a little bit of what's going on down here, whether it's what the Mavericks are doing, the high schools, just the general vibe of hockey down here. In my time here in 20 plus years living down here, it's grown tremendously. From the days of your dad coaching the women's team to what you guys did going to the Frozen Four last year. It just seems to be like a big growth in the sport here. Is that something you feel like you've seen and experienced over your last 4 years, or even if you go back to those other times and just your Northfield days and kind of getting the Southern Minnesota vibe for hockey?
I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the whole city of Mankato, not just the hockey people, to really I think it'll be super cool for those who, maybe aren't super involved in hockey in the city and the surrounding areas, to understand and see how important this sport is to so many people in the state. I think to those people who are involved in hockey, it'll be an unbelievable experience. I know that, we've been talking about it for a while, how cool that, opportunity is going to be, and especially for those of us who grew up watching it. I'll never forget, I went to a couple with my dad and a couple of my friends growing up, the outdoor games, indoor games. And yeah, it was a packed house every time, and I think it'll be a super cool opportunity for both us as a program and just the city of Mankato to bring people in, attract people to the city. So yeah, we're definitely excited come January.
Yeah, you got to be excited that's happening while you're here, while you're playing.
Definitely.
Well, Andy, I can't thank you enough for joining the podcast. This has been great. I feel like we could just talk forever. But best of luck this week against the Tommies, and going forward over the rest of the season and a few weeks before you get a little bit of a breather for holiday break. But thanks for joining.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. This has been the Maverick Hockey Live podcast presented by Dunkin. He's Andy Carroll. I'm Shane Frederick. We'll see you next time.